So I am basically a horological engineer.
Okay.
I learned watchmaking, and
Okay.
then I joined Alvin
Okay.
and Titan in '86.
Okay.
I started working from 1981. 81 to 85 I was in Alvin.
Okay.
I came to Titan in '86.
Okay.
Left Titan in '89.
Okay.
Came back to Titan in '91.
Oh.
So when I came back to Titan, I came back to the watch division, my home.
Okay.
So I worked in several functions within the watch division. So majorly in sourcing, vendor development, and things like that. So then I was part of the uh, new initiative of Titan to get into aerospace and automotive business.
Okay.
So I worked there for about 5-6 years.
Mm.
Then I went to Goa. Titan has a subsidiary in Goa which makes ECBs for watches.
Okay.
So that was a captive unit. So we wanted to convert that into a EMS facility.
Okay.
So I was transferred there under the kind of a condition that once I get X amount of business, I can come back to Bangalore. I did that in about 1.5 years. So I came back to Titan into the same precision engineering, but in Bangalore. So then, as part of the talent management, so I was identified as one of the potential potential managers. So from there, my aspiration was to work in a front-ending business, which is I thought at that time is a glamorous thing. So Eyeplus was just starting in at that time, 2009. How Titan came into eyewear is that Titan is a lifestyle company.
Correct.
And we are many times I have said that the core competency of Titan is understanding the Indian consumer.
Okay.
So we can actually sell anything that the Indian consumer will need. We understand that consumer connect and very consumer centric company. And fortunately or unfortunately, the supply chain head who was there at that time, he left the company.
Okay.
He said, "Why to take one more person? Let me handle this." But there were some internal organizational challenges. But I said, "I don't care. No problem. We will do this." I think sometimes I feel it's the best decision I made. Sometimes I feel it's the worst decision I made. The best decision is that I learned a lot in this the 15 about 14 years that I spent in this division. But it has been some of them in the initial stages has been one of the worst part because of the challenges that I personally faced and the company also faced. For example, Titan is a manufacturing-led, marketing-led company.
Correct.
Which means that we manufacture almost everything that we sell, whether it is jewelry or whether it's watches and all that. So even if we buy something, everything comes into a central factory, and from there it goes to the stores.
Correct.
So everything is under our control.
Right.
Suddenly we were now the contact lens, some 18 different distributors are sending to stores directly. These processes are not in the DNA of Titan.
Correct.
So we were, and the category is new, the processes are new. So there was a lot of challenges at that time. That is why I spent probably sleepless nights, donkey work for about 4, 5, 6 years. Then slowly we got into. But the learning is that I learned, of course, lens manufacturing, frame manufacturing, logistics, on-time logistics, this time-bound logistics.
Correct.
Okay, so I designed some of these things what we run today, so much so that at some point of time some of our elder brothers like SLR or somebody said, because for example SLR had more than 80 labs.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
and they were delivering in X number of days, and we were also delivering in the same X number of days with just one lab.
Okay.
So they used to, how do you do this? Can we use your logistics provider and all that? So we were able to manage a lot of these challenges because of course, the support of the industry, SLR and Exotica, and all the other partners also have given their unstinted support in terms of how we grow. So that is I would say like this: when any company enters into a field, they would look at profitability, scalability,
Okay. Okay.
right? So this was one category where the team, project team said this is a very high margin business
Okay. Okay.
because the cost of procurement is less
Right.
and the end price is small.
Correct.
But what we didn't realize at that time, probably, team didn't realize, which, as I said, only when you get into the business you understand, the cost of operations are very high.
Correct. Right. Right.
So the optometrists cost a lot. Then you need to have a fitter in the place, and the obsolescence is very high.
Correct.
The product gets damaged very easily.
Right.
Okay, so lot of these hidden costs and direct costs actually is very challenging. So for us to, and also this distribution, and then so with that, and then the international brands.
Right.
Okay, so the inventories of their inventory terms of international brands are abysmally low. Okay, so we are used to a certain price point and things like that. So this is, now Titan also makes watches for 6.5 lakhs, 5.5 lakhs. So we are into the luxury.
Okay.
We understand now with Helios and all that. But those days, these were selling something at 8,000, 10,000, 20,000 rupees was not our cup of tea.
Correct.
So managing that, selling is fine, and managing that also is so. And also, you need to get. We started off with certain assumptions. Any project will start with certain assumptions. We had certain aspirations. For example, we said our store should be of this size. It should have this much of frontage. It should be in this location.
Correct.
This type of location. So if you do all that, then because we are late entrants into this. So the existing optician, the store and company on MG Road in Pune,
Right.
is sitting there since 40 years.
Right.
So their rentals is no way comparable to our rentals.
Correct.
Right? And so therefore their staff, for us to figure out, so the questions that we had to ask ourselves is that we had to first get our business model right. It took us some time. But we knew Titan is always gets into any business. If you have to be there, we have to be number one or number two. That is the Titan philosophy.
Okay.
So we are there for a long time, and our Titan philosophy is don't worry about short-term challenges.
Okay.
Look at the long term, and also don't worry too much about the competition.
Okay.
You do, Bhasker Bhatt always used to tell us that you do better than yesterday. Every day, if you do better than yesterday, you will reach somewhere. Okay. Competition is one reference, but that need not have to limit you. At the same time, that need not have to freak you.
Got it.
Do what you can do. It is extremely customer oriented. Okay. I used to personally speak to hundreds of customers each quarter. We have elaborate processes, and just before I retired, we have a process where every morning the Google reviews we see everybody who has given us 1-2.
Oh, okay.
Look into that, and we make the process change that day. The CEO himself chairs the meeting. We have made hundreds of changes. Okay. And our store staff have lots of empowerments. Okay. There is a dedicated team which listens to the store complaints, because store is the mouthpiece of the customer. Every customer may not even bother to come to you and to a central location. You just go to the store and make. So Titan also has this culture where whether it is the MD or the vice president or general manager or a manager, even if we go for a wedding to one place, whether there is a Titan store, it may be jewelry store, watch store, Eyeplus store, we don't care. We go look at what is happening, come back, and necessary or unnecessary gyan we will give it to that concerned person. What I feel as a customer, I saw. So, and it is taken seriously. Okay, I know one customer who said, no, I expected better from a Tata company. I said, sir, you have bought this lens 3 years ago. And we have given 1 year warranty. Nobody gives warranty. I have given 1 year warranty. After 3 years, we are unhappy. He says, you know, Mr. Jagannath, but I am a retired person. I have paid 14,000 rupees, and I expected Tata company lens to run for 5-6 years. I said, your power will change, sir. So there is a lot of things.
Right.
At the end of it, you know what he said? You know why Titan is great? It is because of this. The head of the supply chain is taking time to spend 1 hour to talk to an old man.
Correct.
Just because he went and told the store people that I expected better than from Titan. That's all he said.
Okay.
And I would summarize the Titan Eyeplus success and its struggle both to this.
Got it.
This customer centricity. I think day by day, I don't I don't say that we have reached the pinnacle, but I think we are far better than ourselves. I don't want to compare about it. And second thing is that we are very uh, finicky about the promise.
Okay.
So I remember once we made a technology where a process manufacturing strategy where we can deliver a lens in 4 hours. Any lens, and then some of the people who experienced it, our own colleagues, Tata colleagues, Titan colleagues, said, "Why are you not advertising it?" So when I spoke to our marketing head, she said, "No, NJ. If we say this, if we promise it, we should be able to do 100%.
Okay.
Not that otherwise, what happened then? If we say, we have to do it. If you commit something, so there are many brands in many categories. They claim so many things. Okay. Many times, in fact, our directors, a lot of visitors who have come to our lens lab, after going through all that and all the test results and things like that, all that we show, why have you kept this such a well kept secret? Why don't you talk about it? Okay. Somehow we don't want to make these claims which may not be 100% repeatable all the time.
Okay. 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 Since you have run this business, so which part you feel is the most difficult part running it? Because you have seen watches also, now you are into eyewears. So any specific part you feel that this is really tough cracking it within the eyewear space?
See, this is my my view.
Okay.
I may be completely wrong.
Yeah.
You go, a customer goes, I have an eyesight problem. I go. First step is what? The eye testing is done.
Right.
That can go wrong.
Correct. Correct.
Then what? The manufacturing. Lens has to be made.
Correct. That can go wrong.
Then it has to be fitted.
Fitted.
That can go
That
wrong.
can go wrong.
That is not it. The selection of the frame.
Correct.
Okay, so I am a progressive lens wearer, and I get a thing which cannot be adjusted. That selection is wrong. That can go wrong.
Correct.
Okay? There are many such possibilities of failure. It's a nightmare for any product delivery person.
Correct. Correct.
Nightmare. Now, assuming that all of them are right, I have seen many cases where everything is right, customer is not happy.
Right.
He is not able to see. Okay. Because it is the physiology of the person. And then if the person was not wearing the lens earlier, now they wear it, now they feel it uncomfortable because now they are able to see clear. So lot of these issues are there. And the another challenge is that the customers are not able to explain their problem. Even take eyesight. It's a joke. You are dependent on the accuracy of the customer because he has to say what he is seeing. This is right. That is right.
Correct.
So if he tells you wrongly, whatever you have done is gone case.
Right. Agree.
That is the most.
That is the most difficult.
Very difficult portion process in terms of delivery of the solution. Okay. If you come to business, okay, because of the complexity, somebody wants plastic, somebody wants metal, somebody who has he is like me. I am old, but I don't want to look old.
Okay.
I want progressive, but I want small lens.
Small.
Okay, and then keeps changing. The fashion keeps changing. Managing that portfolio of products.
Correct.
In every store. When a customer walks in, at least for his price point, in his material requirement, to fit his power, you need to have some 10-12 selection.
Correct.
Okay. So by the time when your inventory is so large, so you cannot, if the turnover stock turn doesn't happen, obsolescence. So that is another big issue. If you want to carry your brand, you have to have sufficient width. So it's almost like you want to create the entire portfolio of that brand, which you can't afford. So then you will have to make choices. Okay. So you make some choice, your competition makes some other choice, somebody else from there. Okay, one person will come and say, there I got a better choice because he had a larger. It so happens that what he has selected is more relevant to him. Somebody else, I have more relevance. But then this feedback, the store staff will get demotivated. So that's a very big managing the planogram or the stock in the store, and of course at the back end is one challenge. Then as I told you, the delivery of
that is
a challenge. Of course, this price now it is little better. 10 years ago, the average spectacle price was some 700 rupees. People will spend 2,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees on a facial, okay, but they don't want to spend 2,000 rupees on a spectacle.
yeah.
I used to also say a pizza costs for 400 rupees, 450 rupees, and they don't want to pay 450 rupees for a lens.
For a pair of lens, right.
For a pair of the lens. So that making the customer understand the value of that solution that you are providing, that is also another
tough thing. Yeah. So now I personally
I
feel.
wanted to say one more thing. The Titan contribution for growth of this
industry.
Okay. I remember when we just came up with the first discount offer, exchange offer, 25% off. You exchange any spectacle, you get 25% off. And we had put many international brands.
Okay.
On that, and we advertised a few of them also. On hoardings. They were big hue and cry in the market. That my phone actually literally was melting. Okay. Every brand, they said, please come here. We are not. People are sending back goods. And all that. Cut a long story short, there were big negative perception about Titan that they are taking away our business, whatever it is. So we let it pass. After 3 months, we had one meeting. Okay. So there, I asked one person from Kolhapur, how many stores in Kolhapur were selling, say, a stepper, stepper product, or a Ray-Ban product, or a Silhouette? Hardly anybody. But how many are they selling now? How many stores do they have now? Almost everybody has. How did it happen? Titan spent the money to create an awareness in the people in Kolhapur that there is a brand called Stepper, there is a brand called XYZ, okay, and they started asking for it. They got it in Titan. Not that the customer will not come only to Titan. Then
of course.
So then the other people started buying. So the overall business, that 45 days that we gave the discount, okay, their business not have affected. But the rest of the 320 days, they have grown, and year on year it has been growing. So Titan, one thing also in Titan is that, for example, senior managers, when we come to a certain level, we sign a code of conduct. A lot of people think that signing a code of conduct is that we will not take bribe and all that. There is only one paragraph in that 3-page thing. And one of the major thing is that we have to give in writing that we will not do anything against the industry. Against the interest of the industry. We will not do anything against the interest of the nation.
It is part of that contract.
Part of that thing. Many people don't know that. Why? Where Titan is today is because of that thinking. It has taken its time to reach there.
Good. So last, which we discussed before we started this session also, is like you have been in Titan and you are still doing something with someone really big. So how you feel that for independent opticians, like these days, I feel independent opticians, number of customers have dropped. Of course, ticket size have increased. That's why they are able to survive. So what kind of feedback or what kind of input you would like to give to the independent opticians so that they can at least match up to or catch up to these national chains or multinationals who have deep pockets, who can spend money on marketing and all. Of course, independents can't do it, but then how can they scale up? If you can tell in a very I would say layman term in which, ताकि उनको समझ आ जाए कि उनको क्या करना है.
Understood. Fine. See, I'm telling you like this. This is my personal view.
Okay.
So all this, whatever I have said before,
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
also is my personal view. And as I told in the beginning, me and Titan are inseparable. What
Correct.
I am is because of that.
Right.
Okay. But this is not official.
Of course.
Nobody should feel that he's talking sitting there.
Yeah.
I am talking as an individual.
Correct.
Who has seen both sides of it.
Correct.
So I believe that the best policy for anybody, not only optician, anybody, is make the best of what you have. Right? What you don't have, there is no point cribbing about it.
Correct.
Now look at what I have, what I can make out of it. Now let us look at a retailer. An optician is basically a retailer. Right? So what drives the success of a retailer? One is customer acquisition. New customer should come. The customer who came I should retain. He should come and buy it from me again. And he should tell somebody else, referral. Right? When he comes, I should be able to sell him a product which has a better margin, good margin for me. And it is the fair thing for him. He should not feel that today I can sell a high price, but then if he realizes that I have overcharged him or I have given him something which he doesn't need, he will not come back.
Correct.
So, keeping the fairness in mind, sell a higher thing, sell more. He came to buy one pair, can you give him two pairs? Find reasons, and which is again without being unfair to him, can you? Right? Basically, this is the top line. Then comes the margin. Okay, some things, each product has its margin. Ray-Ban has the lowest margin. Some other product may have highest margin. Your own product which you buy from a distributor, brand it and sell, may have better. But it has its. Okay, so margins, that is the middle line. The bottom line is again the costs of operations. Okay, so are you the optometrist? Do you have to hire an optometrist? Do you want to keep one additional optometrist? So why would you want to do that? And then there are other expenditures, overheads like advertising, things like that. Some of them you can do, you cannot do. Above the line, below the line. You can't do a store where a person has 6 stores. Cannot run a TV advertising.
Of course not.
Right? So there is top line, margins, costs. And then you can do certain things, you can't do certain things. Okay. Now you look at independent optician. Let's take somebody who has got 2-3 stores. Okay. And you start comparing with Titan. Okay. So acquiring customers. Titan can run a campaign. Okay. Titan first of all has a Tata pedigree.
Of course.
Titan itself is a much equally big brand name. Okay. Trust is there. Okay. Likewise, XYZ will also have deep pockets, as you said. Okay. They have their agenda. In fact, I remember one of the discussions in this discussion after our discount campaign. Somebody started saying, okay, let's all agree that we will not give discount during the season. What season? The NRI season. Because that is when the people come, we are buying service. I said, you can't decide for somebody else. Right? You may think that is the time NRIs come where they will buy all the international brands, we should not give discount. Somebody else may think that is when if I give discount, they will buy 5. I will make more. That is their strategy. So nobody should sit and instruct somebody. Today, children don't give, isn't it? Right? We have no right to tell somebody you have to do this, you have to do this. We are fraternity, all that. Okay. This fraternity is also fine. I'll come to that later. How a fraternity can actually work for each other. But telling that you don't do this, I don't do this, I don't discount, why are you discounting, and somebody else is doing XYZ. Now or somebody acquires another company, or so they get into another category, and they make some statement, they make some investment, everybody starts there. I think we should refrain from that.
Okay.
Is my opinion. Okay. Look at, this is a fair game, this is business. Okay. Now you sit back and say, now, for example, 100 years there was no Titan, there was no lens card, there was no specs maker, right? Opticians made business in certain way, right? Then somebody came, Titan came, they did some disruption, lens card came, they did some disruption. Tomorrow SLR will come, they will do another disruption. Okay. Some other chain will come, they will make another. You can't go and tell, for example, if some Japanese chain, which are some 1000 stores in Tokyo, in Japan, if they come to India and they start doing something, you can't go and tell them, they'll say get lost. And we start feeling that no, they are all doing, we should go to, you can go to the government, what government will do. Okay, and it's a matter of liberalization, things will not happen. We should look at what we have. How can we leverage it? So coming back to revenue, acquiring customers, research says that this category, people don't travel far because they have to go twice at least.
Okay.
They'll have check
करवाने दूसरा delivery. Okay,
and
right.
if there's a problem, probably they have to go third time.
Third time, correct.
So they don't want to go 10. It is not like buying shirts and shoes.
Correct.
So they will want somebody nearby.
Okay.
Now you may say, no, Lenskart or some other people, they are doing from home only. Okay. So that is their delivery mechanism. Okay. They will have their own challenges. Let us first talk about the chains, which are, even if you take any of the people whom you are talking, they all have 500 stores, 250 stores, 1000 stores, 1500 stores. Okay. But each of those stores have to operate like a local optician. That is one thing. People will not travel. If I am not wrong, the maximum distance a person is willing to travel is 2 kilometers or 2.5 kilometers. So around that. Okay. So you are there, you are well placed. Okay. Now what can you do to increase what? Awareness, accessibility, affordability. If these three things are there, you can acquire customers.
Correct.
The chains, big chains, are creating awareness through TV ads, through whatever. Okay. But you have nothing to do. You are sitting there, 2.5 kilometer radius. Your staff is there in any store. Average walk-in is 7-8 people. 8 people you will service in about 3-4 hours. At least 4-5 hours in a day. Your staff is free. You are free. You can do 1,000 things to make aware. If you think that I am like a doctor, people have to come and I will, that's a different thing. So
those days are gone, I feel.
You have to play the game by its current situation. You have to be current with this system. Okay. So therefore, you do this. One of the things which I realized is that in Bangalore, at least, when we were children, we were small, there used to be so many clinics, doctors' clinics.
Correct.
Okay, some Bukhara where we used to go there and come back. Now they have all disappeared. Okay, even if you have a small cold, you have to go to a Esther or a Columbia, Asia or a Apollo. It is nursing home, things like that. So because these independent doctors were not able to handle this. That should not become of the opticians. Okay. Because we are also a retail business. So we should find ways and means of communicating with our customers. Number one. Number two, all these chains are corporates. They don't have a face. Tata Titan has one trust, Tata Trust. Otherwise, many others are corporates. Now they have built over 10-12 years with hard work, spending money, spending time, spending all this. They have built a reputation.
Mm.
But you sitting in that for generations, okay, you have a reputation of your own, right? And you have customer base of your own. And if you have not collected their data, if you are not bothered about them, then you are only to be blamed. At least now you start doing that.
Mm.
You know your customer very well. When the government says know your customer, so better know your customer. Right? So awareness is there. Affordability. Now, don't get me wrong. One of the questions which in one of these earlier interviews somewhere somebody asked me is that what was one thing which Titan did differently when it came to the market? We put MRP on every product in the store.
Okay. Yeah. Earlier it was not very common in optical stores. Now it is still.
There is a feeling. I'm not saying that it is being done. There is a feeling saying that he will charge me depending on what he thinks I can pay.
Correct.
Right? Transparency. Be transparent. Build the trust. And price the product in a way which is correct. So in Titan's parlance we call it correct selling. We are a corporate, there are targets to be met, okay? Values are to be met, volumes to be met. So the store staff are under pressure. Okay? So some of them may vary here there, but there is so much of effort and money spent, campaign spent, training and all that to do correct selling.
Okay.
Correct selling doesn't mean that you sell low price product. You sell a product for customer which is the right solution for him. In that you provide him the options and you recommend an option which he chooses. Transparency and give the decision to the customer. This correct selling is the part about affordability. Okay. Don't say everything one international brand. So then it becomes difficult. So he should come back. So you can acquire customers. Affordability, access. You are nearby. Trust is there. Awareness is there. You can create. So once they acquire the customer, next comes is retaining the customer. Retaining the customer is that once you have sold the product, okay, how you get connected with the person. Do you call him back, ask him what is it final? Okay. You assume that because he lives nearby and he knows you, he will come back. He will not come back. He has 1,000 other things to do in his life. Okay, so therefore you need to see whether what you have sold him, is he using it properly, has he got any problem, and genuinely do that. Not simply make one call as a problem. So genuinely do that. Take feedback constructively. Okay. If somebody says this is bad, I'm not able to see. Now that lens you may actually lose. Do something with your supplier, with your brand, whatever, but make sure that the customer gets a solution for which he has paid for.
Okay.
Right. So retaining customer is that, and then you also be sensitive about his lifestyle. Okay. Then is the ticket size. You can increase ticket size by not by upselling, by actually understanding what he needs and suggesting him things which he needs. Okay. For example, I wear this. Now I will lay down on the thing to read in the night. I don't need the progressive. So this may get damaged and all that. Buy one ready reader, 400 rupees, 500 rupees. Okay. Many times I have seen the customer has come along with him. No customer, eyewear customer comes alone to the store. Very rarely. There is always one accompanying person. Because if he takes out this chashma, how it looks he can't see. Somebody else has to tell him.
Correct.
So they bring somebody. Okay. That person can you sell in a sunglass. Okay. There are a lot of things that you can do to increase ticket size. All these are very common sense. people who are listening to this, they say, hey, kya bakwas hai? Everybody knows. Point is not knowing, point is doing.
Okay. Right.
Point is doing. That's the very difficult. I have seen in some of the most premium stores to very common stores. I have gone with my son, I have gone with my wife, I have gone with my friends. These are the things. And then, of course, if you treat all this, referral will happen automatically.
Correct. Correct.
But important thing is you have to track. This month, how many customers came to me? Okay. So, out of that, how many had bought from me before? What they had bought? When the person who sent you here, do anybody ask? Very few people will ask.
Correct.
How did you come to my about store? They will not ask. Record data information. Today, Google is ruling this world because it collects so much information. Be a Google for your store. Collect as required, not required is later. The more you know about your customer, the more better decisions you can make. Okay. And now you talked about these big chains and their. Okay. As I said, what the big chains don't have, you have. You have a face. You are nearby. You can talk. Owner is sitting there. You can take decisions. Right? A corporate store manager, if he has to, unless of course Titan is a different matter, we would have given him empowerment in customer. But pricing and all that, there is no empowerment. He has to sell. You can take a decision. So make use of all that. One. Now, second thing is, you must have heard of this alliance,
Right.
Airlines,
Correct.
Star Alliance.
Star Alliance.
Okay. Very good example. They are all competing airlines. Okay. At certain end, they were all in similar situation. They all came together. They said, okay, what is our core offering? We will keep it. But what is not so core, what can easily be done by everybody, we will combine.
We will share it with.
We will share it. For example, I have 2 stores in Bangalore, 3 stores, 1 store in Mangalore, 1 store in Tumkur. Okay. Now, I have to have one optometrist in this, 4 optometrists, fair enough. Now, if one of them in Mangalore goes on leave, that store ka half revenue is gone.
Correct.
Right. Now, if I have a alliance of all these opticians
in Mangalore
together, Mangalore or in Karnataka or whatever, and we have a bench of and one person is placed in Udupi or Mangalore. Udupi, that area, 1 or 2 are there. If somebody is there, they can book like a room booking. You can book earlier. This person is going on leave. Your optometrist will tell tomorrow, sir, I am wanting, or 2 days later. So you can take. I'm just giving examples.
Got it.
Right? So you are sending your thing to fitting somewhere. One guy, there is no quality control. He sends it back. If it is bad, then you can only shout at him or pass it on to the customer. Okay. If all together, put the best of the fitting center, make sure that there is a very good fitting and things don't go wrong. You can save rejections and you can serve better quality. So what I am saying is, I have said this before, this concept before. Okay, and you can do merchandising together. Okay, take an independent agency, okay, which will do the planning for all of you. They don't purchase. They are not a buying group. But they get the insights, analyze and give you back data of what is selling where.
Okay.
They don't have to say that Lawrence and Mayer store in Jayanagar 4th block is selling this. They say Jayanagar mein, this is some data about what type of things are there. In Bangalore, what type of things are there. If you asked before, is there difference between south and north and east and west? Of course, there are clusters. The whole merchandising works on these clusters. There are companies which sell this service as a service. Okay, so you send an NDA with them and then engage with them. There is a company called Manthan. I am not promoting them. I am saying I have used them. Like that, there could be. So you speak to them. I get some independent consultant to work with them, and then give you this as a service. Pay them and get this data. Okay, you subscribe. It is like you scratch my back, I scratch your back.
Hmm.
You want information, then you have to share it.
Hmm.
You have to trust that agency you have appointed to. It is possible. It looks very complicated, but it is possible. But when I have shared this with some people before, some of them have understood, some of them it's another buying group. No, I am not talking about buying group. Okay, I am not talking about buying group. So, say for example, a Luxottica will be very happy if you tell them that we have a association of 200 stores, independent stores. Okay, give us one scheme, which something like a Titan can do. The individually you will not get. You will only get what Luxottica decides to do.
Correct.
Okay, that you will also get. But can you design a scheme only for you, exclusive scheme like Titan? You can. They will be very happy to do. Right. But if one person, then what is their interest? It's difficult because you can say I will buy, I will give back, exchange. So many things you can do if you have. So at the sales counter, you are different. You sell what you want to sell, but the back end you can pull in together money and decide to run a advertising campaign only in Bangalore. If all the at least 30% of the Bangalore 600, 700 outlets, 200 of them become one thing. 200 outlets into 10,000 rupees. It will be a large sum for you to run a campaign.
Correct.
This is how you can actually work with, but that is a concept where some of the, I would say, elders of the industry should come forward, put this thing in together, experiment. You need not have to do all over the country. Gujarat, mein, Ahmedabad, mein, Baroda, mein, Tamil Nadu, in Chennai, in Hyderabad. Some city, some pilot you can run. See how it works. 1 year. Otherwise, you will keep on saying, all these people have deep pockets. Of course, they have deep pockets. They will get more deep pockets. Right? That's why they are there. And you can't find fault with them. There is no point in saying, no, they are doing that, we should stop them by doing. So many times all this happened. Has Titan stopped doing what they want to do? No, stop doing. Okay. That sums up the communication. It's not possible to communicate. Okay. So what everybody will do what they want to do. And as I said before, every entity, they have their stakeholders, their shareholders, their employees, their objectives. Who are you and me to tell them what you should do, what you should not do.
Great. And of course, we will not talk what you are doing now. We will talk some other time what you were doing at that time.
No,
that's okay.
The reason is that I am a Tata executive for a long time.
Okay.
So there is certain ethical behavior which we are brought up with.
I agree. And
so I should not be talking about it.
That's okay.
If there is a opportunity and if that company feels that, like I have discussed, whatever now I have explained to you, there is nothing which is privy to.
Right.
Whatever I said is all general things, and it doesn't do any harm to the company.
Correct.
So, like that, first of all, I am new in that space. If I last long enough, and then but it doesn't really matter.
Yes.
For this subject matter, I think it is more of
correct.
What has been the learning. I hope that I have shared more learnings than Gyan.
Yes,
These are all
for sure.
Not nothing which is saying that you are doing wrong, you are doing. These are things which have been tried in certain ways in certain places.
Definitely. Fine, sir. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for your time.